Hi everyone, this is Marianne and welcome to my channel. Today in this video, I am still going to be on the subject of the Apple Watch, but in a more indirect way because I'm going to be sharing this leather conditioner that I found online, which on first impressions I really like. And I purchased this to use on the leather watch straps that I use with my Apple Watch. And for sure, I will link this leather conditioner in the description box. So this here is the Big Four leather conditioner, and the product claims that it can condition, clean, polish, and protect leather. Pretty much what every leather conditioner can claim to do and can actually do. But what made me choose this over a plethora of leather conditioners is that it claims that it will not darken leather. Now, I don't mind leather darkening. Most leathers will darken over time anyway, depending on the kind of leather, the tanning process involved, and if it has been treated in some way, and of course, how you use the leather item and how often and what you expose it to, like sunlight or skin oils. Things like that, they're all factors on how leather behaves and ages over time. But regardless of all that, leather still becomes more beautiful when it becomes older and aged, in my opinion. So I don't really mind leather darkening, but I do prefer that I be the one to darken leather over time because of my usage of the leather and not because I applied something to it deliberately that darkened the color. I hope I'm making sense. Anyway, the bottle has a seal, which is always an indicator to me that I must also store this in a very similar seal. The substance inside is a slightly yellowy cream color and it looks opaque and it looks thick but not viscous. The instructions on the back said to use a soft cloth as an applicator, and I still had some scraps remaining from an old t-shirt that I cut up a few days ago for something, and that's what I am going to be using. Now, this specific leather watch strap is the reason why I picked a leather conditioner that will not darken the leather, because I really do like the color of this. This is, of course, too long for me, so the buckle is already over on the side instead of on the middle of the bottom of my wrist. And this keeper over here is darker than the rest. I don't know why, but I don't mind that. And the other keeper is the same color as the rest. I have an unboxing of this on my channel and I will link it down below. Now, I just have to put some of the leather conditioner on the cloth and then apply it liberally over the leather. That's what the instructions said, liberally, meaning not conservatively. So I'm putting a little bit more than I thought the leather needed. I will not put anything on the leather on the back of the strap because it might make me itch. Now, at this point, I could see that the leather did darken ever so slightly, but only because it's still wet. And while I'm on it, I also decided to use the leather conditioner on this strap. I have also unboxed this on my channel. Video will be linked down below. Now, this green strap is made of Italian leather and has already darkened, and I think it looks great. The long strap is darker than the short strap because the way it's worn is the long strap covers the short strap. So it is the long strap that is exposed to the sun, the elements, and sometimes my skin and the lotion and sunscreen that I put on my skin. So the short strap is lighter in color. This is closer to the original color, but this has somehow gotten some stains. They look like water stains to me. So again, I am applying liberal amounts of the leather conditioner on the strap using the piece of t-shirt. I'm super curious to see if the leather conditioner can clean the water stains. Now, while waiting for those to dry, I thought I would also clean my watch just to show how I do it. This has a screen protector on it, which is also a bumper protector I really like this a lot. I will show this in more detail later on in the video. And to clean my watch, I always just spray it with distilled water. This is the same one I use for my skincare. I just spray that on the back of the watch and use a piece of tissue to wipe off the dirt. The dirt is a combination of dirt, skin, dried sweat, and sunscreen and lotion. I also do the same cleaning process to the screen and the sides of the watch, even though these parts never get dirty because of the case that I have been using. And here is the case. It was completely clear when I bought it, but it has developed this kind of discoloration, which I hardly notice when it's on my watch because I have the Starlight aluminum, which has a warm undertone. But I can imagine if you have the silver aluminum watch, you would notice once the case becomes discolored. I also just spray this case with water and use the tissue to wipe it clean, the entire inside part first, and then the most dirty parts of the outside. Now, putting this case back on can be finicky, but I found an easier way to do it, and the trick is to have one strap on, specifically this long straight one. Leave the short one with a pin or the buckle for later. And by the way, you might have noticed that the crown on my watch is on this part. That is the reverse crown position, which I explained in a previous video, which I will link down below. So back to the watch case, we just need to slot the band through, make sure that it's positioned on that part, more or less, and then very carefully pull the other part over into place. If you don't have the band on one side, that thin part of the case tends to slip into the empty slot for the band, and it's a little hard to get it out. And the final step of cleaning is to clean the front of the case with the water and the tissue. I know it no longer looks pristine. That is the case, which I might have to clean with soap and water eventually, but not the watch, never the watch. The watch is still pristine and must never be cleaned with soap or any kind of detergent. I did try to wipe off the front of the watch case with a disinfectant, but it didn't work. I'm going to try to use this watch case or watch cover for as long as I can. It will be an experiment to see how dark it can become before it starts affecting the clarity of the screen of the watch. At this point, the two leather watch bands are already dry, and as you can see, the khaki colored band still has the same color as before, but it feels much softer now and even a little velvety to the touch. And I remember that I have two other leather watch bands in my stash that don't really have anything wrong with them, but I thought I might as well use the leather conditioner on them anyway. This narrow black strap came already with the lugs for the Apple Watch, but for the other three, I bought the lugs separately and just installed them myself after they were delivered. A video about Apple Watch lugs will be linked down below. And I also have a video on my channel about all of the watch bands and watch cases that I have, and I will link it down below. And the brown band is my oldest leather watch band. I bought that in 2017, a few months after I bought my Series 2. After a short while, this did not take long at all. The bands were all completely dry, and as far as I could tell, there were no changes in color on these bands, including the khaki colored one. It looks very nice. It looks more new now, but the color did not change, and like I said, it felt softer and more velvety. And I was also pretty impressed that the water stains on the green band were no longer there. It looks pretty good. As for the brown band and the black band, I noticed no visual change. There was nothing wrong with these bands anyway. So, the Big Four leather conditioner definitely delivered on its promise. I like it. I highly recommend this product basing from these first impressions. I just do not like the packaging. I don't think I can trust it. The threads looked utterly unreliable. So I cut up a piece of plastic and placed that over the mouth of the bottle and then screwed the cap back on over the plastic. And I must remember to store this upright. Other than that, this seems like a good, reliable product. This video, by the way, is not sponsored. And that is my little show and tell for you today. I hope you learned something new and I hope you enjoyed. Thanks for watching. Bye.